Just after my father passed away, I began compiling the stories Mom told her children about her childhood in the Netherlands. Sometimes distraction is a good way to handle grief. Anyway, as I did, I showed them to my mother, whose response was, "Well, what about the rest?" "Mom, you never told me more than this." Thus began a several-year collaboration where I learned about Meta, a very brave-faced girl who also happens to be my mom. Why brave-faced? Mom grew up in the occupied Netherlands as the youngest daughter of a Dutch postman and a German mother. In the fall of 1944, Germany cut off food and fuel to that part of the country. By the time they realized that this policy was ill-advised, it was too late. The canals had frozen over, so began what became known as the Hunger Winter, a time of starvation where over 20,000 people died of starvation. By the time the Canadians liberated them, Meta and her family were so weak that they couldn't even go down the stairs to celebrate. 10 years after the war ended, the Dutch government had recovered enough to send officials from school to school. They evaluated which children were worth feeding and which ones would die even with more food. When they examined Meta, they shook their heads. She wouldn't benefit from the feeding program, or so they thought. Meta had other ideas. She puffed up her cheeks to show how fat she was. The doctor chuckled and said, "Put her in, she'll make it." The result of Meta's brave face was that she got extra food and she survived. She is now 91. The book about this remarkable feisty woman's childhood was published in 2022, has 5-star ratings on Amazon, and remains one of my best-selling books. Read more about it here and get yourself a copy.